Most people imagine dangerous individuals as obvious. They picture aggression, loud voices, unpredictable behavior. Someone who walks into a room and demands attention. Someone you can immediately identify as a threat. But the truth is far more unsettling. The most dangerous people you will ever encounter do not look dangerous at all. They look calm. They look polite. They look like someone you would trust without hesitation. And that is exactly what makes them so effective. Because while everyone else is scanning for obvious threats, they operate in silence just beneath the surface, shaping outcomes without ever drawing attention to themselves. And once you begin to understand this pattern, you start to see it everywhere. Not in extreme situations, but in everyday conversations, in relationships, in business, in subtle social dynamics that most people completely overlook. Because real power does not announce itself. It hides, and it waits, and more importantly, it observes. The first thing you need to understand is this. Control does not require force. In fact, the people who rely on force are usually the least powerful in the room. They need reactions. They need attention. They need resistance to feel in control. But true control works differently. It is quiet. It is subtle. It is psychological. And it works best when you do not even realize it is happening. Think about the last time someone influenced your decision without you noticing. They did not argue with you. They did not pressure you. They did not force you into anything. They simply guided the conversation. They asked the right questions. They introduced just enough doubt, just enough curiosity. And by the time the decision was made, it felt like it was entirely yours. But was it? This is where it starts to get uncomfortable. Because once you recognize this pattern, you begin to question how many of your own decisions were actually yours, and how many were shaped by someone who understood how to guide you without resistance. The most dangerous people understand one fundamental truth about human behavior. People do not like to feel controlled, but they are incredibly easy to guide. And the difference between control and guidance is almost invisible. The second layer of this behavior is emotional discipline. Most people believe emotions are a sign of honesty. If someone reacts strongly, they must care. If someone gets angry, they must be passionate. If someone shows emotion, they must be real. But highly controlled individuals operate very differently. They do not give you emotional reactions. They study yours. They pay attention to how you respond under pressure. They notice what frustrates you, what excites you, what makes you defensive, what makes you hesitate. And they store that information, not for immediate use, but for later, at the exact moment it benefits them the most. While you are reacting, they are observing. While you are expressing, they are collecting. While you are being understood, they are understanding you. And over time, that creates a massive advantage. Because they are no longer guessing how to interact with you. They know. And when someone knows how you think, how you feel, and how you respond, they can begin to predict your behavior. And once your behavior becomes predictable, it becomes influenceable. And once it becomes influenceable, it becomes controllable. But here is where it gets even more interesting. Because they rarely act immediately. They wait, and that patience is what makes them so effective. The third trait is something most people completely overlook. They are comfortable with silence. In a world where everyone feels the need to fill every gap, every pause, every moment of quiet, these individuals do the opposite. They slow everything down. They allow silence to exist. And in that silence, people reveal more than they ever intended to. Think about how uncomfortable silence can feel. Most people rush to fill it. They talk more. They explain more. They justify more. And without realizing it, they expose more. But someone who understands this dynamic will stay quiet just long enough. They will let you keep talking. They will let you go deeper. They will let you reveal things you did not plan to say. And they will not interrupt you. They will not guide you. They will simply listen. And then later, they will use what you gave them. Not aggressively, not obviously, but precisely. This is how influence is built. Not through force, but through accumulation. Small observations, small adjustments, small moments that eventually compound into something much larger. The fourth characteristic is even more subtle. They are not trying to be liked. Most people base their decisions on approval. They want to be seen as good, trustworthy, agreeable, and because of that, they often compromise their position. They say yes when they should say no. They explain when they should stay silent. They give more than they should, just to maintain a certain image. But highly controlled individuals do not depend on approval. They understand it. They can use it, but they do not need it. And that creates a level of freedom that most people never experience. Because when you are not trying to be liked, you become much harder to control. You can hold boundaries. You can stay neutral. You can observe without reacting. And you can make decisions based on outcomes, not emotions. And over time, this creates a quiet authority. Not loud, not obvious, but undeniable. People feel it even if they cannot explain it. And they respond to it. The final layer of this behavior is long-term thinking. Most people are focused on the moment. They react to what is happening right now. They want quick results, quick validation, quick outcomes, but the most dangerous individuals are always thinking several steps ahead. They are not reacting to the moment. They are positioning themselves for what comes next. And sometimes that means doing nothing. Sometimes it means allowing situations to unfold naturally. Sometimes it means letting someone believe they are in control, when in reality, they are being guided toward a very specific outcome. This is why these individuals are so difficult to detect, because they do not dominate every moment. They do not need to. They only need to influence the right ones. And when you look back, it becomes clear. What felt like coincidence was actually intention. What felt like freedom was actually direction. And what felt like your decision may have been shaped long before you realized it. But here is the most important part. This is not about fear. This is about awareness. Because once you understand these patterns, everything changes. You stop reacting automatically. You start observing more carefully. You begin to notice when someone is guiding instead of participating. You recognize subtle shifts in tone, timing, and intention. And most importantly, you take back control of your own decisions. Because control only works when it goes unnoticed. And awareness is what breaks it. So the next time you meet someone who seems calm, quiet, and almost invisible in a room full of noise, do not underestimate them. Watch how they move. Watch how they listen. Watch how little they reveal. Because the most dangerous person in the room is rarely the loudest. It is usually the one no one is paying attention to. And by the time you notice them, they have already noticed everything about you. And once you understand how they test you, how they probe for weakness without you realizing it, you start to see an entirely new layer of human behavior. And that is exactly what we are breaking down in the next video. Watch it now, because once you see that pattern, you will never look at conversations the same way again.